Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's Kitty Boitnott of Boitnott Coaching. And I just have a quick message for you today. If you are very observant, you will notice that I have written a new byline on my newsletter for today. And that is I've added Reverend Dr. Kitty Boitnott, NBCT. The Reverend comes from the fact that I graduated yesterday and am now a licensed minister in Science of Mind. Now, I've written an article about what Science of Mind is and what it isn't. In case you're wondering, is it Scientology? No. I don't know much about Scientology, but I know enough to know that what Science of Mind teaches has nothing to do with what Scientology teaches. Science of Mind is more of a philosophy as opposed to a religion. Although there is a number of churches out in the western part of the country more than in our part of the world. The largest church that I've ever attended is the Mile High Church of Religious Science, which is near Denver. They have a huge religious science community out there. And I know there are a number of religious centers, spiritual mind centers in the western part of the country. I was introduced to the teaching by my now ex-husband. He was interested in the teachings of Ernest Holmes, and we found a teacher who was here in Richmond, and we followed her and worked with her and took classes from her, and that's when I really began my study. So I credit my ex-husband with having introduced me to Science of Mind. When I was going through my divorce, I went looking for a teacher. The first teacher that I had moved to California to take over a church there. And so I went on the internet and found another teacher here in Richmond. And I've been working with her since 2006. I was going through a divorce. I was working on my doctorate. And pretty quickly after I started working with her, I started talking about running for president of the Virginia Education Association. And I honestly believe that using the principles and the teaching of Science of Mind helped me in achieving each one of those goals. Getting through the divorce intact and completing my doctoral work and undertaking a campaign for Virginia Education Association president. And even though I wasn't taking classes for much of the time that I was in office because my travel schedule didn't allow it, I was using the principles that I had learned. I never lost sight of the teaching. And when I was finally free and able to pick the study back up, I began my third year, my practitioner year, in the fall of 2012 and became a licensed practitioner in the spring of 2013. And here, 2 years later, I've completed the additional ministerial requirements so that I have met the criteria for being a credentialed, licensed Science of Mind minister with Global Religious Science Ministries, also known as the Alliance for Spiritual Understanding. Now, all that any of that means is that nothing changes as far as who I am and what I've been doing all along. But I am going to start referring to myself now as Reverend Dr. Kitty Boitnott because I've earned it. It's been a long time coming. I've worked hard and I have achieved that level of distinction, and I will be using it in my work going forward as a coach and a counselor. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you might be interested. If you'd like to learn more about Science of Mind and how it might help you, it's about reining in the power of our thoughts and using them for our good as opposed to using them for worry and fret and unhappiness. I believe that we can control our thoughts and that our thoughts drive who we are and what we become. I also believe that they help us to achieve whatever it is that we care to achieve. You've heard me talk about my can-do model for success, and I believe that that can-do model is grounded in the principles of Science of Mind teaching. So if you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to let me know. And until next week, if you would just celebrate with me this achievement, I would appreciate it. Like I said, it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy to be celebrating it with you. Till next week.